So hello and welcome. So today we're looking at sky vector, as you may have guessed. So anyway, cutting to the chase. We're now, we are currently, White Rock's got a, that's weather station. Anyway, we're currently at Orcas Island here. Plan for today's trip is to take off from Orcas Island in the Alabio Cessna 404 Titan. Did want to do a video on this a while ago, but then it kind of got pushed back. End result, I'm doing it now. So taking off from here, which is, as I say, Orcas Island. Just spent some time around in this area. Actually up at Souk for a day as well. Anyway, so we're going to fly roughly northbound, passing east of Vancouver Airport, flying up this valley here to CYSE aka Squmaish. Squmaish is an ORBX scenery, so is Orcas Island, which is back down here somewhere. There it is. Anyway, I am going to cut the video here because we will be seeing you back down in the aircraft. See you then, folks. Bye bye. So, hey guys, welcome aboard. So, we're currently on the ground in Squmaish. In Orcas Island. Wow, that's a glitchy car. Oh no, it's rendered as it's driven past us. Anyway, so this is the 404 Titan. Yep, it is the 404. I kinda had a panic that if it was the 414, but no. So we don't need any lighting. Avionics bus can come off. Anyway, so battery master switch can come on. That then starts powering things up. GPS should come to life when avionics on, actually. We do need the avionics bus to run for us. Please start. Please don't fail me. Anyway, we can then switch the transponder to standby. We'll be squawking 1200 for the trip. I was going to use the GPS, but apparently the GPS has gone on strike again. Yep, it has. Brilliant. So I'm going to I'm going to switch the avionics bus off because we don't need it at the moment. We're flying offline. Give you a quick idea of what Orcas Island looks like on the ground. Oops. No, it's. I don't know why I keep going up there to do this. Anyway, so we're at Orcas Island right now, as I said. That over there is the runway. It's remarkably FPS friendly as an airport. Let's go. Okay, so let's close the door. That's going to click down. That's going to go off. Okay, so we'll get ready to go. Okay. I can switch both alternators on. I can now also switch the beacon light or the anti-collision light in this aircraft on. Now I'm going to show my ignorance of this aircraft here, and I'm going to reach for my keyboard, and I'm going to push two buttons right now, which will be Control and E. I'm just going to check everything in roughly the right positions. I do. I'm going to assume that's the starter switch. So fuel pumps. There's the left-hand engine coming to life. There we go, the audio is even running now. That's one's on. And two's on. Both engines are now alive. I'll then engage the prop sync. Just notice that's probably the loudest bird I've ever heard in my life. You can hear it tweeting over the sound of the engines running. Okay, so just release the brake. Alright, so we're just going to, as I say, bring the aircraft around. There we go. Oops, daisy. So this is Orcas Island. I'm actually going to taxi down the other end of the field. Actually, there is one thing I will very quickly change. I didn't do anything at all. Okay folks, so the more observant amongst you will have noticed I very quickly decided to change the weather around a bit. That's purely on the grounds of making it look a bit prettier. We'll let the avionics boot up now. Transponder should be alive in the next couple of seconds, so we'll be able to use that. We're going to take off from this runway because winds are from the west. And this is probably the closest runway to take off with a headwind we can get at Orcas Island. Flaps coming down for departure. it's going to be, as a visual takeoff and fully visual flight. I'm not going to use any automation at all. Oh, this works now. So I'm actually just going to very quickly initialize the GPS now that it's come to life. Okay, flight plan. Course, add a waypoint. We're just going to do direct to C. SE, Squmaish. That's direct. It's a 65-mile trip, as you've noticed. Can I change that? No, right. And again, we'll just use this as a... No, I don't want to do anything like that. Activate like. Okay. And we can now go to... just say back. And just pop them up. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly get rid of that now. There we go. It does actually include ground charts for probably bigger airports. I'm assuming Orcas Island just isn't big enough for that. Okay, oh, there's an aircraft parked over there. That's pretty cool that you can just drive into the airport. Okay, I'll just do a quick check. We are clear on the approach. Transponder is activated. Check. On an altitude. Okay, let's turn enter now. I will play with the GPS once I get airborne. I just need to... It's not far off present heading we have to turn to. There we go. That's the aircraft. Okay, we'll rotate at 80 knots. 60 knots. Check. 80 knots. Okay, this could be a problem. There we go. So I'm going to have to quickly put the GPS back up because it's decided it doesn't want to center on us. There we go. So you can see that's what the terrain looks like in our current area. The gear should be up, coming up, flaps fully up as well. Anyway, we're just, as I say, climbing out 100 knots. We'll just trim for that airspeed bracket and just climb out on course. I actually went on a holiday, well, this last week, and stayed in this area. And I actually, when I was listening to the radio and hearing about the Orcas Island Film Festival, which is on at the moment. So, 10 out of 10 would recommend, and all that good stuff. Anyway, we'll switch, now switch to GPS now. There we go. So it's just going to swirl itself around so we can tie it into this. As you can see, if I just, we are climbing, not too steep. Anyway, I'll just look out the window, and that over there will be Vancouver Island. If I move this forward, which I can't do because the Easy Dock's not working today. I'm just going to trim forward a bit, let the aircraft accelerate. You'd be able to see what would be White Rock coming up on, and finally Vancouver, or White Rock in the Surrey area. And I've got to say, this does look kind of a bit, in terms of the scenery, it doesn't look particularly realistic if you're watching it now, but it is like this in the real world. Probably downplayed a bit in the sim. I know I just pulled those two back, and over there we can also see Mount Baker in the distance. But no, sorry, that was a bit of a boo-boo on my part, pulling the throttles back, sorry, the props back asymmetrically. But that's the way it has to be. I haven't got the other joystick plugged in and tied through, so I had to do it that way. Okay, so you can see if there's, actually I can zoom in a bit. Yeah, so anyway, that's, I think that's Bellingham Airport. That over around this area, that'd be Abbotsford. There's actually, well then, there's actually an Electra parked outside one of the hangars, which I thought was pretty cool. Asymmetric RPM? Nope. I'm just wondering where the aircraft said it wants to turn left. We're going to level off about 4,000, I think. I'll just scroll 4,000 in. Whoa, that was a wind shear. That wasn't No, we've not had a power loss. I'm just going to nose over now. And that was a bit of a wind change coming through 3000. Mental note to self, turn wind smoothing on before finishing today. I'm gonna have to. I'm now significantly right of track as well. I'm going to turn the waypoints off because we don't need those at the minute. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. System. No, that's not gonna work. That's peculiar. Anyway. Home. Map. That was probably a way to declutter this, but I'm not aware of it. But as I say, that's CYYJ. That's Victoria International. International because some people fly there from what's it again? From I think it's Seattle they fly from in Dash 8, and you can also fly from Victoria Harbour to Seattle in a Beaver if you want to do that, which is pretty cool. Victoria Harbour, which is over to our right, that's actually the busiest second busiest seaplane port in the world, and busiest in Canada. It's Victoria Harbour. That looks like the active passage. So yeah, we've gone well past it now. But it's down there on the GPS near Athbow. Wow, I've gone sailing through that altitude. Alright, power comes off. We have power? There we go. Flying lashes on rails again. So yeah, we're going to be entering Vancouver airspace pretty shortly. But we can click our way up here and just kind of drag our way around. What I'll do is I'll go visual once we reach the coast, or once we overfly Vancouver airspace, and that'll lead us to being visual just to fly up the valley at lower-ish level because I can see there's some clouds in the way. So the valley straight ahead of us with the thunderclaps going off. And then, as I say, Squmaish is quite a small aerodrome further north than we are right now. So you can adjust the transponder in this, obviously, so I can squawk. It's 2200 if I was squawking. I've just got to be a false squawk again. But it would be 2200 if I was on VAT sim and being uncontrolled. Get a few little bonus points for squawking 1200 though. I've actually been past this airstrip. Fun fact. The border between Canada and the US, a little bit turbulent today, is the 49th parallel, I believe it is anyway. And that cuts this piece of land off just behind the pillar there, off from the Canada. I believe it's Point Blaine, I can't remember off the top of my head. Point Roberts, that's the one I was looking for. Anyway, Blaine's just over the border, past Peace Arch, which is down on our right. Anyway, well, anyway, what I was saying was that, so, for a period, school children living in this area had to get a school bus through into Canada, then down over the border, which is around this area here. Hang on, yeah, around this area here, and go to a school in Blaine, which is in the main US area. Which I just think is pretty ridiculously complicated for something that just needs simplifying. But yeah. Anyway, we'll take pitot heat, stall heat. It's getting a bit cold outside. Anti-ice prop. Now flight should have been on. Yeah, it doesn't look like we've got a strobe. And landing lights will clear the zone, so we definitely do not need those anymore. Okay, that's Vancouver Airport off on our left there. I'm going to remain clear and I'm just going to proceed towards the mountains. Then when I'm over the river I'm going to turn left because there's actually a seaplane port down there. Another one. Which is where I ended up buying that t-shirt. That's on the Facebook page. Go check it out. I'm just going to look at the GPS. I'm going to go back to work out actually where I am. There we go. I'm well off track, but to be honest, I'm visual, so it doesn't really matter. If I was in a if we were in low cloud or something, I would be using GPS and probably stop the video because there's no point in me filming it. Because I don't know anybody who's willing to watch me flying through a cloud. But well, as I say, I was staying just down on the right. I'm just going to get this GPS up as well. You can see it's got the things on it. Declutter. I quite like having the topography on the GTN 750, which I've got in this aircraft, because it's very much a user-friendly, easy to do by eye interface, which I really like. So yeah. What I can also do is just quickly switch your damper. Are you here? Hello? Hello, sir? No, there should be a yaw damper fitted to this aircraft, which would stop that kind of thing happening. We need to descend down a bit because just entered some cloud. Vancouver Airport's actually on an island. It's because I think it's actually quite a clever way to put an airport. Whoa, that was me. But I've got to say that we're flying over this aerodrome here. Actually, this motorway, I was on it 2 days ago. All like a dream now. But this airport here, I can't remember the name of it for my life now. But it seems like about a 40-minute drive from there to Vancouver Airport. And you see how close it is. It just feels silly. This cloud's forcing us down because I want to remain as visual as possible. If I could remain on present track, that would be ideal, but I don't think in the real world they would let me come that close to the airport. Actually, probably this altitude they would, because I'm at 6,000 feet, so well above anything on the ILS. Bit of extra power. We'll turn towards Vancouver itself. That's those buildings straight ahead of us. Lionsgate Bridge isn't in for some reason. Okay, when I'm over the water, over downtown Vancouver, I should say. I'll turn and can do an S-turn into the valley up there. Considering the fact that I'm only just over the other water, that's going to take some time. I mean, if I just look down that way, it's actually can't see very well down from this aircraft. That's a point to note. But I mean, you can see we're not actually that far over land yet. That's actually the default Vancouver scenery, but it doesn't look too bad from here. Actually, I've sort of got ORBX installed for this area, so it's probably improved it a bit. Yeah, it's 40 miles from here up to Squmaish, so I'm just going to gun the throttles and go for it, basically. I can't do that. What I can try is autopilot on. Alt hold, nav hold, there we go. That's just going to get the aircraft to hold present everything. You can see what it's doing with the trim, just trying to trim itself out. It's probably going to send us down to 4,000, which would probably be a good altitude to be at, actually. Wow. Whoa. How? I think about 27.5 manifold pressure would be good. 27.5 inches manifold. And I'll just pull the throttles back a bit. Since the autopilot on it shouldn't be such a bad thing going. Look at what the RPM's doing there, just fluctuating wildly in the right end. Also, I might as well cover this. Blue terrain is well below, more than 2,000 feet below. Yellow is yellow/amber, sorry, is between 1,000 feet below and level with us, and red is 1,000 feet above. Sorry if you can hear me drinking, which you most likely can, but as I say, I can't talk for this will be about half an hour's worth of a video by the time we're down for this long and without anything to drink. Okay, I'm just going to go to heading hold. Alright, it's in heading select mode. Nice of it to tell me that before I ended up engaging it, but no, we've rolled out on roughly the right heading now. I definitely should have the flight director on. Flight director, there we go. No altitude, there we go. Flight director, altitude, hold, everything held. So I'm just going to let the aircraft, as I say, fly itself for a bit until we get to the entrance to the valley, and then I'll take over again and fly up the valley. That's Vancouver below us now. It's so blurry, but there's so much autogen. I don't want to actually even see my VAS rates right now. But actually, yeah, Vancouver doesn't look too bad. And that's obviously I'm using yeah, quick scenery thing. I'm using the add-ons and use kind of thing, I suppose. I'm using the Alabeo C404 Titan. Pacific Northwest by ORBX, and but yeah, that's down there. That's Canada Place, and just to the left of Canada Place is the seaplane terminal. Sorry, I got distracted. But no. Also, actually, anyway, back to scenery. Sorry, mustn't get distracted. Anyway, this is ORBX Pacific Northwest. We've also got KORS-CYSE, so Squmaish, which is by ORBX, and Orcas Island, which is by ORBX. Wow, the nose is just rocking left to right so rapidly right now. That's the Canucks hockey stadium. That's actually a cruise ship terminal, and there's actually ferries going from here to here, and there's a helipad about where the cursor is. I don't know if that actually goes in the recording. If it doesn't, I'll put an arrow there. Anyway, yeah, just checking my mic was actually on. It was so awkward if it wasn't. Right, so as I say, though, I'm quite, it's this flight. I know you're going to probably shout at me saying I've done everything wrong. I'm, setting the engines on fire, all of that. But I'm just enjoying a nice, relaxing flight. I've got to say that is pretty much what it's like. Anyway, it's a nice relaxing flight, and chilling out a bit, because there's very little point in me. Well, I suppose there is point, but yeah, just kick back and get in the back seat a bit, and the seats down the back. But no, I've done a lot of flights recently where I've done my best to do it as accurately as possible, and now it's just my turn to have a bit of a relaxation flight, and I'm just doing this video for you guys because I think this is quite a scenic part of the world. That's the park and rec area. Sweet. Anyway. But yeah, so as you can see, it's just really a nice gentle flight. We'll probably chicane up the valley and fly that way towards Squmaish, which you can actually see it on the GPS now. I'll just put the GPS up. Does it tell you the road names again? That must be the other GPS. I'm just going to turn myself right up there. But that's Elgate, it's Lionsgate Bridge. I don't know if any of you watched Tugs. Well, for me it was a young child thing, but it was a TV series about some tugs in a harbour, and I'm pretty positive it was Vancouver Harbour they used, or it's based it on, because a lot of it's very, very similar. And the guy who did it was Canadian. That was just I don't know why I did Canadian Australian there, but let's see what do we like with the GPS. Alright, this is the more basic GPS version. This is the GPS the aircraft actually came with. But no, I don't use this anymore, because I prefer the 750. Right, well, we'll take the autopilot out in a few minutes and descend down a bit. Yeah, we'll take the autopilot out now. I just want to get under this cloud before we end up entering it and not being able to see anything. Now this road here leads up to a place called Horseshoe Bay, which is quite a large ferry terminal, which we should be able to see. I might, if I'm tempted to do like a bigger series with this aircraft. Yeah, this is more of a trial for me and see how it goes around with you guys. And then after that, I'll probably do a series with it where I'll fly it up to. I might go up to. I'll set myself an ambitious but rubbish goal of Anchorage in Alaska. Problem is, it's difficult to get a ATC on for these areas, because obviously I live in the UK and these guys are 8 hours behind me. So I'm filming this at about lunchtime, and it's currently 4 AM for them. So yeah, anyway, we'll just do it the right turn. What I'll actually do is I'll just engage auto rudder, which should allow us a little bit more of a. You can see though, we've got that red patch right next to us, which is that hill there. We could get over it, but it's just letting us know there's terrain to my right. And I'm just trying to hug the walls of the valley, because I know if I stay on the right, I will end up at Squmaish. I don't want to end up going up a valley that's not the right one to go off up, basically. Alright. I suppose I could do an altitude hold here. Actually, I'm not going to do autopilot from now on. I'm flying by hand. I'm just going to select and hold the correct altitude. I'm actually alright, that's good to know. Alright, so we are approved into IFR and icing, which is good. So that's where I fitted with the anti-ice system, but flight director is now coming off. Looks almost like a game, this, doesn't it? The very basic mini games used to play, just trying to fly up a valley. Yeah. I think this is Horseshoe Bay we're coming up on, because it's kind of quite a big outcrop at Horseshoe Bay. Yeah, Horseshoe. Yeah. I don't know anymore. But yeah, you can see if we went left, we would just be brought back around. I just wasn't sure, because I didn't want to. If I can help getting lost, I won't get lost, if that makes sense. But it's quite a fun flight. We're 7 miles to the right of track, but it's just going visually and enjoying the scenery. We've still got 20 miles to go. For some reason, when I engaged EasyDock, it locks me out with my hat switch. There's the trees, by the way. There are trees here, but for some reason they aren't rendering at the minute. Let's look that way for a bit, see if they're rendering. But no, it's just a miserable day in Canada. It was really sunny when I was there, actually. Much about the same weather it is like in the UK now. Well, on the 9th of. Oh, that's good. It even tells me when it thinks I'm going to crash. Yeah, I am kind of being blown sideways here by the wind. I haven't got active Skynex running because for some reason it crashed itself. Yeah, don't ask me why. I don't know. You can see we are crabbing into this wind. Anyway, seems to be a ferry terminal up ahead, but I don't think this is Horseshoe Bay yet. Horseshoe Bay was much further out of Vancouver than this. We are quite close to Troy now, I do agree. Oh, water gens popped in. I do need a bigger graphics card. I should be getting paid any time now. 2 new things I'm getting. Mobile phone, which would allow me to do better stuff with Twitch, and hopefully a new graphics card. I actually vaguely remember this piece of road. I know that sounds weird, and this is Horseshoe Bay here, I think. Well, it's a town. As you can see, though, it just goes from being a metro, one of the biggest cities in Canada, to being really mountainous terrain in like less than a mile. The contrasts are really unbelievable. One block does make a difference here. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I'm back. Because I was doing, what was it? Yeah, well, my cousin, well, my dad's cousin, I don't know what it works out as for me, probably great cousin, is a real estate agent, and he was selling a house in Abbotsford and was saying that it devalued quite significantly. Whoa, fog. Anyway, it devalued quite significantly because there were bears appearing in the back garden. Just a casual bear. Because it was, and it literally backed out onto a mountain, and there was nothing behind that house, so, yeah. What's this called? How sound, isn't it? Can't actually read the GPS. Yeah, it looks like How Sound. Never heard of that place. It looks like we're at the top of the thing now. We'll be approaching Squmaish. Yeah, 10 miles to go. Stop doing that. External. There we go. So yeah, this is Squmaish we're coming up on. This is actually the VFR scenery area, so we can descend down a bit. Just again, so we don't end up entering a fog bank. Now, actually, there's a cable car around here, so I've got to be fairly careful, but I don't think it's simulated. It's a cable car that takes you up there, literally. That's the Chieftain, I believe. It's the name of that mountain. Right, we're just going to turn left, because I would say I want to deconflict any potential cable cars. Quite significantly. That. But yeah, this is actually really what it is like, because there's a cable, there's Shannon Falls around here, somewhere. I think we've just flown past it. But anyway, there's around this area, it's a cable car just going straight up the mountain, and put it there, and you can you can go right up to the top, and you can actually, it's quite a clear day, and it does look just like this. I'm just going to idle my throttle now. I'm going to probably do an establish overhead, then circle to land, I think. That's a gear not down warning, but my concern is I don't come barreling in to the airport, because it's a fairly short runway, so I can't afford to land long. Yeah, we are flying an empty aircraft, hence the lack of seatbelt tents, by the way. And as I said, this is a relaxation flight, not a how in depth can you sim flight. Squamish itself, though, there's a lot of things look like airports, which aren't airports. I think it was up here when I found it in the real world. Yeah, I think that's just appearing from around the corner of the valley. I think, as it's straight ahead. We'll see. I genuinely am confused right now as to where the airport is. Mile final, okay. Get in. Okay, we're now reasonably well configured for landing. I'm going to do a wind check. Wind's 260. It's 34 knots. Wow. That's how we're moving so fast. But no, we're within acceptable landing speeds right now. Yeah, actually got it. It's that headwind apparently. Got a ground speed of 105 knots, but an airspeed of 110. There's the airport. I've got it. Sorry for the how slowly the textures are rendering in, but this is ORBX scenery, so. So yeah, what I did see is actually the airport. Got no approach lights though, so my hand is going to hurt by the end of this, I think. So back pressure I'm holding at this stage. Full flat. Oh, your brakes work. That's what the white box appearing in the lower left of the screen is, and the clicking sound. Because it's mapped as the trigger on my joystick.
500.
That comes up now. It's just rendering in the airdrop as well on approach. Probably see a lot more as we backtracks, I think. Actually, sorry, the terminal's no. The terminal's off on the right, I believe. It'll get better after we land. I didn't quite realise how small Squamish was. Okay, and wheel brakes. This aircraft doesn't have reversers, so just be very careful because it'll activate dip braking, which is again not good news. Okay, flaps up. Whoa, we accelerated there. Ground speed still over 20 knots. There we go, we can just turn now. The runway is really wet. But we are starting to see more of the ORBX-esque scenery. I quite like going to ORBX sceneries though, because even though my computer can't really deal with them, it's just really quite spectacular to see and fly around. I think this whole area was actually being logged recently, because when I looked at this on Google Maps there weren't any trees around it. Yeah, my joystick for some reason can't input 0 in terms of the rudder axis. I've tried installing massive null zones, but it just doesn't work. Okay, so I think what we can do is just pull over onto this parking area here. Yeah, just taxi up and park in front of this hangar. And we'll just shut the aircraft down, and that's going to be it from us. Oh, there's an American flag here as well, look at that. That's where we came from. America! Hell yeah! Okay folks, so we're now just going to put it onto the on our spot. And next to Yeah, this was Sea to Sky Aviation around here apparently, in the real world. Entirely possible they just bought the hangar recently and that's why they're registered there. Anyway, so I'm just going to pull the aircraft up and park it about here. Okay, so park brakes at. Oops, noisy. I'll just put both props to fully feathered. In the meantime, I'm now going to just go down here. I'm going to switch the transponder off. Pretend to tell tower we are shutting down now. And then what we'll do is we can take all the heats off, all the anti-ices off, and that cannot left alternator, right alternator, fuel pumps, magnetos off, off, off. There we go. Everything's now off. I'll just put the mixtures to off now. And the battery. I'm just going to confirm, yep, they're both off and fully feathered. And battery master switches off too. So folks, that is it from me for now. We've just landed obviously in Squmaish, the scene is rendering in now that we've stopped. It's a rather a spectacular bush strip, if I may say so myself. I don't know where we're going to head up to next. I'm going to have a look at the scenery, coverage areas, etc. after I do this video, and then I might even film it today and upload it as my second video today. So folks, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye.